Harriet Tubman Way, an inspirational guide to empowerment and legendary leadership for girls. Chapter 6. Write and tell your story. Sarah Bradford's book. I had some wonderful friends. When I was having problems paying my mortgage and about to lose my house in Auburn, a woman named Sarah Bradford offered to write a book about me. She said, "Harriet, your life deserves to be documented. I'm sure if I write about you, people will buy the book and you have the money you need for your mortgage." Some days I would go to her house and tell my stories. Some days she came to my house. We would sit for hours, and I told her about how I was treated growing up as a slave in Maryland, about my family and how 3 of my sisters were sold away in the chain gang down in the deep South. I told her about some of my trips on the Underground Railroad and my friends that helped me. Miss Sarah said, "Harriet, I believe all your stories because I know you. But your stories are so fascinating that some people reading this book would never believe it." She wrote letters to some of the station masters, my friends, asking about my stories. She got letters back from people who said, "If Harriet said it, you can't believe it." Some people even said that they remember some of the people in my stories coming through their homes. Miss Sarah added these letters in the book. In 1869, she published Scenes in the Life of Harriet Tubman. She gave the money she made from it to me to pay off my house. I told Miss Sarah more stories that she added to the first book. In 1886, she published it with the new title, Harriet Tubman, the Moses of Her People. The book made its way to England, to Queen Victoria. After she heard my stories, she sent me a nice letter and invited me to her Golden Jubilee celebration. I was too old to go by then. I was proud of that letter, and I showed it to folks, but so many handled it that now it's just some blurry writing on a thin paper, and you can't read it no more. The Queen sent me a gift, too. Imagine me, Harriet Tubman, getting a gift from the Queen of England, all because somebody wrote a book about me. She sent me a beautiful silk shawl and a Golden Jubilee medal with her picture on one side and her family on the other. Telling my stories was one thing I can surely do. So when folks come to visit, I always love to tell stories. Write and tell your story. Share your stories. Oral communication is important, and telling stories is a natural way to talk. Harriet Tubman told her stories that we call oral history. If her stories were not written, we would not know as much about her as we do today. To make history, stories should be written down. Storytelling stimulates your mind by making learning more interesting. Interesting learning leads to growth. Read stories and write and tell your own stories. Share your stories with others. Storytelling has become a skill practiced by great leaders who encourage their followers and employees to learn to do. You can start now telling stories, and over time, this skill will help you advance in your goals.